everyone, this is Jairo once again. For today's video, we're going to answer Compania Bradesco problem 11-23 that can be found in our reference material. 11-23. For the first requirement, we are required to prepare a contribution format segmented income statement for the glass division with segments defined as product lines. So for the sales of flat glass, auto glass, and specialty glass, we have 200,000, 300,000, and 100,000 respectively. And that gives us the total 600,000 sales. Next, variable expense. It comes from here, variable expenses as a percentage of sales of 65%, 40%, and 50% for each division. So the 130,000, 120,000, and the 50,000 comes from the sales multiplied by its respective percentages. And that gives us the total 300,000 variable expenses. Then, by subtracting the two, it will give us the contribution margin of 700,000, 180,000, and 50,000 with the total of 300,000 contribution margin. Next, traceable fixed expenses. We have here advertising, depreciation, and administration. Now that we have the total traceable fixed expense of 54,000, 87,000, and 69,000 with a total of 210,000. We can now subtract the contribution margin and the total traceable fixed expenses for each division to get the divisional segment margin. After that, common fixed expense. So the 60,000 will be subtracted to the divisional segment margin of 90,000 to get the net operating income of 30,000. Okay, for the next requirement, management is surprised by specialty glass poor showing and would like to have the product line segmented by market. The following information is available about the two markets in which specialty glass is sold. So for sales of domestic and foreign, we have 60,000 and 40,000 respectively. And that gives us the total 100,000 sales for specialty glass market. Next, variable expense. So the 30,000 and 20,000 comes from the sales multiplied by its respective percentages, and that gives us the total 50,000 variable expenses. Then, by subtracting the two, it will give us the contribution margin of 30,000 and 20,000 with a total of 50,000 contribution margin. Next, traceable fixed expenses. For this problem, we only have advertising for traceable fixed expense of 18,000 and 30,000 for domestic and foreign. We can now subtract the contribution margin and the traceable fixed expense to get the divisional segment margin. After that, common fixed expense, the 14,000 and 7,000 will be subtracted to the divisional segment margin of 2,000, getting a negative 19,000 net operating income or loss. Since we have a loss, the culprit here is the foreign market. It is what made the company lose money because it generated a negative 10,000 segment margin. And for the last requirement, we are here to refer to the statement prepared in number 1. It says here that the sales manager wants to run a special promotion campaign on one of the products over the next month. A market study indicates that such a campaign will increase sales of flat glass by 40,000 or sales of auto glass by 30,000. The campaign would cost 8,000. Show computation to determine which product line should be chosen. So with that, the increased sales here for flat glass and auto glass comes from the information provided. Next, to find the contribution margin ratio, divide the contribution margin by sales. The contribution margin ratio formula is sales minus variable expenses divide to sales. Referring to the table that we have used in requirement 1, to shortcut it, it will be the contribution margin divide sales. So for flat glass, it will be 70,000 contribution margin divided by 200,000 sales, getting a 35% for its ratio. And for Autoglass, 180,000 contribution margin divided by 300,000 sales, getting a 60% for its ratio. Next, incremental contribution margin. To get this, we multiply the increased sales of flat glass and Autoglass to its respective contribution margin ratio, getting a 14,000 and 18,000. Next, campaign cost. And by subtracting that to incremental contribution margin, we now get the increased net operating income of 6,000 and 10,000 for each product. And with that, we can now determine which product line should be chosen, and that is Autoglass. So that's it for this video. Thank you.